Hello everybody. If my voice is audible, can you please let me know on the chat? Hello Raj. What about the others? If my voice is audible, please type audible in the chat. Good evening, Anshul. What about the others? Thanks. Thank you for letting me know. So let us start. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this session, this masterclass. My name is Pratibha, and without much ado, let us start right away. Let's start with who we are. So, we as an organization have been helping students to realize their dreams, their career dreams, their job dreams for the past 14 years. And this session that we are doing is also part of helping students realize their dreams. We conduct a lot of sessions for different, preparing students for different kinds of tests conducted by different companies. We conduct some drives for companies. We share information, and all this happens on our Telegram channel. So if you are not part of our Telegram channel, please do join. The link is on the chat. The link will be displayed in the chat, and please click on that link and join if you haven't already joined. So yes, I see a question. Is there negative marking? So in the past it hasn't been there. So you'll have to just check before you start this exam. They will be giving you instructions, right? So please read those instructions carefully. Okay? They haven't been giving you negative marks for wrong answers. So as of now, we don't have to worry about that. All right. So I assume that those who aren't part of the Telegram channel have noted the link or have clicked on it and joined. So let us start. Now, as you know, TECH Mahindra is going to conduct a test, and they're open for registrations. And we have started conducting sessions for TECH Mahindra, preparing you for the TECH Mahindra test. Yesterday, we had a session on quantitative aptitude. Today's session is on verbal ability. So in the past, what they have been doing is they have been asking around 35 questions on verbal ability. There is no sectional time as such. So altogether, they will have a time limit. There has not been a separate time limit only for verbal ability, but the questions have been around 35. And they ask different kinds of questions. It could be related to basic grammar or a slightly advanced grammar. It could be related to vocabulary, related to comprehension. All that covers verbal ability, right? When companies conduct verbal ability tests, these are the things that they test you for. So let us do as many problems as possible in today's session. Let us start with a synonym question. Okay, so there is a word given and you have 4 options, and I'll give you a time of a minute to answer this question. Anshul, about the test date, once you have registered, you will receive communication from TECH Mahindra about the date. We have a few seconds more. All right, time is almost up. So what are the answers that we have? So I see C has been given as the answer. What about the others? I see Mohan has said A, B, okay. So I have A, B and C. Alright, so let us look at the answer. Alright, so first of all, they have given you the word abnegate. Mark the option which is closest to the meaning of the word abnegate. And they have given you 4 options: renounce, assert, give out and continue. These are the 4 options that you have given. And so different people have given different options as the answer. So now we need to see what is the answer. Now abnegate, first of all, let's look at the options. Renounce, you know what it means. It means give up, right? Assert is say something very confidently. Give out, you know what it means. Continue, you know what it means, right? Now, which of these words is the synonym of the word or closest in meaning to the word abnegate? Okay, so abnegate means renounce or reject. It means renounce or reject. So the answer is A. So all those who have said A, I think it's Mohan who has said A, you're right, renounce is the answer. Okay, so if somebody abnegates responsibility, they are either renouncing their response, saying that they are not going to do it, they are renouncing or rejecting. So that is the meaning of the word. So if it is a word that you did not know, I would suggest you make a note of it. So it will help you, if not in this exam, in some other exam, because synonyms are asked frequently, right? So please make a note of this word and remember this word. So the answer is A, renounce. So with that, let's go to the next question. Okay, this is a spot the error question and your time starts now. You need to tell me in which part of the sentence there is an error. 1, 2, 3 or 4. So here you need to mention, either you mention 1, 2, 3 or 4 or A, B, C, D, any of them. Kavita, if you have not received confirmation, I suggest you wait. There's probably they have a huge load of confirmations to make, right? So I suggest you wait and I'm sure they will communicate with you at the earliest, okay? All right, so I see A, B, C as the answers given. That is 1, 2, 3. There is nobody who is saying 4, which I suppose means that you know that there is an error, right? Okay, so let's, since time is up, let us look at the answer. What the answer is. Okay, I see that somebody says D2. All right, I did not notice that. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 have all been given as answers. So which one is the right one? Okay, so the sentence is Nalini says she is living in Chennai since 1991. So those are the 3 parts of the sentence, and option 4 is a no error, which means that the sentence is fine. Now, all those who have said option 2 or option B, you've got it right. Quite a few of you have said, I see, that it's option 2. So the answer is option 2. but we'll quickly see why. Now what we need to know is why, right? Just knowing that it is the right answer is no use. If it was a sentence correction problem, you would have to correct the sentence. Alright, so let us see what the problem is. Okay, so Nalini says she is living in Chennai since 1991. Now, if Nalini says she is living in Chennai, then that's fine. The sentence is fine. Now there is a since 1991, which means Nalini started living in Chennai in 1991 and she is still living in Chennai. Alright, so when that is happening, now is living, as you know, is present continuous tense, right? Is living is present continuous tense. Now, like I said, if the since 1991 wasn't there, it was fine. But she started living in Chennai in 1991 and to this day, she's living in Chennai. So what you need to be saying here is, she has been living. She has been living, which is the present perfect continuous tense. That is what you need to say. Nalini says she has been living in Chennai since 1991. That is why the answer is option 2 or option B, which is part 2 of the sentence. All right. So if there's any question related to this, please let me know on the chat. Somebody is asking, in front of places we use at. No, Chennai is a city, right? We say we live in Bangalore, in Chennai, so that is fine. Okay. So somebody says A. Harshit says A can also be the answer. Why is A the answer? So it need not be that she says. If she has just said, I might say Nalini says she's living in Chennai. Alright, so maybe I'm speaking to Nalini and immediately after that I'm telling you, I can say Nalini says. So it's not grammatically incorrect. Okay, but this part, she is living, is grammatically incorrect. When we talk, maybe we say Nalini says she's living in Chennai since 1991, but grammatically it should be she has been living in Chennai. Alright, so that is the answer. Option B this part 2 of the sentence is the answer. Alright, so with that, let us move to the next question. Okay, another spot the error question. And your time starts now. So I see option 1, 2 as the answer. Okay, all right. So majority says 1 and 2. So let us look at the answer since time's almost up. Okay, so let's go to the sentence. My colleagues and I have seen him yesterday at 2 p.m. Okay, no error. So 1, 2, 3, either 1, 2, 3 or no error. Nobody has said D as far as I can see. All right. Okay, now my colleagues and I have seen him yesterday at 2 p.m. Now all those who have said part 2, you've got it right. Again, part 2 is the answer. Okay, so what should you be writing here? Now, first of all, can you all tell me what tense this is? Have seen him. My colleagues and I have seen him. Can you all let me know what tense that is? I'm waiting for your responses. Have seen him. What tense do you think is it? Have seen him is the present perfect tense. Okay. Now this tense, so this is a tense related error that you need to. Yes, Karthik, you're right. And Rakshita and all the others who have mentioned, it is the present perfect tense. Okay. And the present perfect tense, we generally don't use when we are mentioning when something is happening. Okay. So here it clearly says yesterday at 2 p.m. So when this seeing happened is clearly mentioned. So in that case, we don't say use the present perfect tense. Okay. So if you say, have you seen him? I'll say, yeah, my colleagues and I have seen him. I might say that. But when we are specifying the time, we need to say my colleagues and I saw him yesterday at 2 p.m. Or depending on the context, we can also say my colleagues and I had seen him yesterday at 2 p.m. But we don't use the present perfect tense. I hope you understood why. Because we are mentioning the time. And usually the present perfect tense is used for something that happened just a little while ago or where we are not mentioning time. Okay, it could have happened anytime, but we don't mention time. That is one instance when we use the present perfect tense. Another instance is when it just happened. Now this happened yesterday at 2 p.m. So this tense is incorrect. Okay, so you can say my colleagues and I saw him or my colleagues and I had seen him. Now here you don't have to correct it. I'm just explaining it to you because if there's a sentence correction question, you should be able to do it. Okay, so if you saw both these questions are tense related. Okay, both these questions are tense related. So tenses is an important part of grammar. All right. Okay, so I hope the explanation is clear. And I'm glad that many have identified the tense as present perfect. Okay. It is not future perfect. If it's future, then it will should be there, right? It is have seen him. So it is present perfect. So somebody mentioned that it is future perfect. That's the reason I am explaining that. Kalyan is asking, why should you use I and not me? So Kalyan, when we are using, when this person I, right, is the subject of the sentence. We are talking about my colleagues and myself, right? So when you're using it as a subject, you can't write me. Okay? If you say he saw me, then you can't say he saw I, right? You say he saw me. When me is not the, when I am not the subject, then you say me. But when I am the subject, you can't say me, you have to say I. I hope that's clear. Okay, so with that, let us move to the next question. Okay, again another spot the error question. So you have to mention whether it is part 1, 2, 3 or 4 or option A, B, C or D. Yes, so somebody asks, both my colleagues and I, should we use we? I want to specify who is this we, then I have to say my colleagues and I, right? I can use we, it's not grammatically incorrect, but I want to specify who saw him. So I want to say my colleagues and I. Okay, your time's up, and I see a few answers. I'm waiting for a few more. I see a part D, 1, no error. All right. So 1 and no error is basically the options that I'm getting as answers. Okay, what about the others? What do you all think? Please do try and respond, because there's no negative marking, like I told you. Okay, all right, so let us look at the answer. First, let's look at the sentence. Though the police tried all sorts of methods to elicit information from the public, they remained silent. Okay, so there's part 1, part 2, part 3, and then there is no error. Okay, now those who said no error or part D or 4, that is not the answer. Okay, there is an error, and what the rest of you said is right. 1 part A or 1 is the error. Can you tell me what the error is? Can you tell me what the error is in say a couple of words or one word? What do you think is that error? Now that you know that part 1 has the error, tell me what the error is. Okay, so I see that sorts is the error. That's what I'm getting as a response. What about the others? What do you think? Okay, Niriksha says illicit is the error. Okay, all right. So thank you for those responses. So let us see what that error is. We know now for sure that part 1 has the error, and what Niriksha said is right. Well done, Niriksha. Illicit is the problem. Okay, illicit is the problem. Why is illicit the problem? Now, illicit means forbidden by law. Okay, if this is a word that you did not know, you have heard of it but you did not know what it means, I suggest you make a note of it. Okay, now does this sentence make sense? Though the police tried all sorts of methods to forbidden by law information, that doesn't have any meaning. Okay, and another thing is illicit is an adjective. Okay, the meaning anyway doesn't make sense here, and illicit is an adjective. When we are saying to do something, what we need to have here is a verb, and what is the verb that should have come here? It is illicit. Okay, it's a homonym. Illicit and illicit both are pronounced in a very similar manner. However, they are spelled differently. They mean different things. Illicit means forbidden by law and is an adjective. Illicit is draw out. Okay, draw out meaning draw out information. Here, to elicit information will mean to draw out information from the public, get that information from the public. Okay, so that is why the error is in part 1. So it is a word related error here. It's not a grammatical error. The wrong word has been used. Okay, so many might not know the difference, that you might not know that there are two words which mean two different things, right? So if you did not know, please make a note of it. You might have known but was not sure which word means what, so make a note of it. Okay, so I hope the answer is clear, the explanation is clear. If there is anything that you want to know, please let me know on the chat. So sorts, somebody had said sorts is a problem. Sorts, there's no problem with that word. All sorts of methods is fine. Okay. All right. So looks like there are no questions, and we can move to the next question. All right. Time for the next question. Another spot the error question. So your time starts now. Part 1, part 2, part 3 or part 4. So somebody was talking about the previous sentence. I think we'll go back to that later. Let's finish this. And one more thing I would also like to tell you. So when you're given a spot the error kind of question, okay, and you feel that this would have been better, something else would have been better, go for that option or that part of the sentence where there is a visible error, which is definitely an error, and which it has the highest degree of error. Because sometimes students find that in part 1 also this was there, in part 3 also this thing does not seem okay. All right, so it is when you're faced with a situation like that, go for that part of the sentence where the error is highest. Okay, now in the earlier sentence, illicit is definitely wrong, right? So you have to select that as the error. I'm telling you because you might come across situations like that where you feel that other parts also have an error, but it may be something minor, or it may be something used in different contexts, used in different ways, so it may not actually be an error. So make a note of that. All right. Okay, so we have the answers, and quite a few answers we have. All right, so it is 1, 2, 4. All right, other than 3, everything else I see as the answer. So let us see what the error actually is. Okay, so I think 3 has not been mentioned, right? Okay, the director along with his assistants have thoroughly examined the new proposals. Okay, now all those who said part 2, your answer is right. The error is in part 2. And also let me tell you, this kind of question is a favorite in company exams. A lot of companies ask this kind of question. I'm not saying the same question, but a question using a similar rule is asked frequently, is asked year after year. So it's something that you need to know. Okay, so if you have answered 2, well done. If you did not know, no problem. We are going to discuss this right now. All right. The director along with his assistants have thoroughly examined the new proposals, like I said, is the sentence given. Okay, now here the key word here, the key phrase here is along with. Okay, and if you did not know, you please keep in mind this, that along with and though when we talk it might seem the same thing. The director and his assistants, or the director along with his assistants, might more or less mean the same thing, but when it comes to applying a certain grammar rule, these two are different. Okay, why are they different? This and is a conjunction, as we know, and along with is not a conjunction, it is a prepositional phrase. It is a phrase, not a conjunction. Okay, and when a term like this is used, it is not equivalent to and. Okay, and so when we use a term like this, whatever comes after it, in this case his assistants, is not considered as the subject. So we are going to consider the main subject as the director. Okay, so for now we will forget this along with his assistants. Suppose this along with his assistants was not there in the sentence. How would you have written the sentence? The director has thoroughly examined the new proposals. Right? You would have written has here. So that is what you have to take as. You have to forget that this is there, because when a phrase like along with is there, What comes after that is not considered as part of the subject. If it was the director and his assistants, have thoroughly is correct, but the director along with his assistants, the right thing that you need to say is has. Okay, so the error is in part 2 because it should have been has and not have. So if there is any question that you have about this, please let me know on the chat. Yes, Nariksha, it is has. What you have mentioned is correct. So please let me know if it is clear. All right, thank you, Usha, for letting me know. I would also want to tell you something else here related to this. This is true not only for along with, even if you had phrases like as well as, together with, okay, the same rule holds good. The director as well as his assistants has thoroughly examined. The director together with his assistants has thoroughly examined. Okay, so this is something you need to keep in mind. And like I told you, these kind of questions appear often. So if you did not know this rule, please make a note of it. Okay, so with that, I think we can move to the next question because everybody says it is clear. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so now we are going to reading comprehension. Okay, now don't start reading this passage. So let me tell you that reading comprehension is a question that is asked generally by all companies, right? So reading comprehension is asked by Tech Mahindra as well in their tests. So what they do is, everybody knows what is reading comprehension, right? You are given a passage and then you are asked questions based on that passage. Okay, now if you were answering, if you were being given a sheet of paper, okay, with the questions, I would say you ignore the passage and look at all the questions first. Okay, but now we answer these kind of exams online, right? So how it appears is, suppose the passage has 4 questions. They will show the passage and ask question number 1. The second, the next page, again they will show the same passage and ask you question number 2. Next, the same the passage and question number 3, and so on. Okay, so what you will not be able to do is look at all the questions first. Okay, because you are able to see it only question by question, and often in many of these exams you are not able to move to the next question until you solve this question. So you might not be able to look at all the questions first, which is not a problem at all. It's just like that it is different from how you would do it if you were answering a paper test. Okay, so what I would suggest you do is, this passage is what is given and this is the question. Okay, so instead of looking at the passage and wasting time reading that passage, okay, if you had all the time in the world, yes, read that passage, then read the question, then go back to the passage and so on. But we might not have that kind of a luxury in an exam where time is of importance and is in shortage, right? So what you can do is, you can quickly read the first question, and anyway in your test you will have the passage most probably on that same page, right? So look at that question quickly and then go to the passage. So here what I want you to do is quickly read this question, okay, to understand what that question is about. Then I'll take you back to the passage and then bring you back to the question. Okay? Okay, so you don't need to see option A, B, C, D and so on. Just look at those 3 sentences according to the passage, the author, and the three sentences given there. So now that you have seen it, I will take you back to the passage. Okay. You can quickly have a look. You should also learn the art of not reading it word for word, because you might again not have that luxury. Learn to do quick reading. You have seen what the question is. So based on that, you have a few keywords in mind. So quickly look at this slide, and then I will take you to the next one, because this passage doesn't end here. It goes on. I'll give you a minute. You can quickly read. I'll leave it for a few seconds more, and then I will take you to the next page, the next slide. All right, so I'll take you to the next slide. You can quickly read this too. I'll give you a few seconds more, and after that we'll go back to that question, so you can, now that you have an idea about what is appearing in this passage, you'll be able to answer the question. All right, so I will now take you to the question. Right, now I'll give you a few seconds. You have read the passage. Now answer this question, and let me know on the chat whether option A, option B, C or D is correct. Okay, I've started receiving answers. Great. I see that many of you are saying B. A few saying D. Okay, so it's between B and D, I guess. At least that's what you are saying. So let us see what the answer is. Any more responses? What do the others think? A, all right. Okay, so I have received A, B and D as the answers. So let us see what the correct answer is. So According to the passage, the author received an Oscar for her portrayal as a feisty heroine in an epic drama. Okay, so what is the meaning of feisty? In case you did not know, feisty means determined, courageous. Okay, so that is the first sentence. Second is feels that moderation is the key to well-being in cyberspace. Third is feels that she is the center of all she checks in the net. Okay, now let's go back to the passage. First of all, just read this. According to the passage, the author received an Oscar for her portrayal as a feisty heroine. So let us see if that is indeed the case. Look at this. Like most teenagers, I dreamed of one day having my name in lights and perhaps an interview with National Geographic for my work with Rwanda's apes, maybe an Oscar for my portrayal as a feisty heroine. Maybe. Dreamed. All these things she's saying is things that she's dreaming about or hoping for as what she had dreamt of or hoped for as a teenager. This did not happen. She did not get an Oscar. Okay, so now let's go back to the question. According to the passage, the author received an Oscar. Did she receive it? No. She had dreamt of receiving it, hoped to receive it as a child, as a teenager. Okay, so this definitely is not correct. Okay, so you have something that will save much of your time. See, if this sentence number 1 is not correct, any option which has sentence number 1 is not correct. So what does option A say? 1, 2 and 3. Sentence 1, 2 and 3 are correct. 1 is not correct, right? So this cannot be the answer. 1 and 2 are correct. 1 is not correct. So this cannot be the answer. 2 and 3 we don't know. Let us keep it that way. Let's look at D. 1 and 3 are correct. We know 1 is not correct. So this is not the answer. What does that leave us with? Option C. 2 and 3 are correct. Okay. So of course we can look at it sentence by sentence and see whether it is correct or not. That is the way of doing it if we had the time. But if there is a shortcut, this is what we need to do. Definitely these 3 options are wrong because sentence number 1 is wrong. Okay. Are you with me so far? Is there any question there about why we have eliminated A, B and D? I hope it's clear why sentence 1 is definitely wrong. Can you please let me know in the chat? Do let me know if it's clear why sentence 1 is not okay and therefore A, B and D are not okay. Alright, thank you Vijaya. So of course 2 and 3 are correct is also something that we can find from the passage. It's only that it will take us some more time because we'll have to look at each of those, right? So just give me a second. So I hope you know that now this is the right answer. First let me tick that so everybody knows that option C is the answer. Okay, this is the right answer. However, I would also like you to go back to the passage and see how 2 and 3 are correct. Okay. So 2 was feels that moderation is the key to well-being in cyberspace. Okay, so we see here that one is she thinks that she is the center of all that is in the net. That was one of the options, right? So you can see that here, though it's not said in similar words, It said, but among these endless searches will be a valuable constant, my own name, Helen Wall. Okay, so which means she keeps searching for herself on the internet. She feels she is the center there. Okay, and the other one was moderation is the key. Okay, so we see that 2 and 3 are either directly or indirectly explained, but we know for sure that sentence number 1 is not correct. Okay, we know for sure that sentence number 1 is incorrect. So that's the reason why we have eliminated all the other options. All right. Okay, so let us now move to the next question. This is what we did. Again, the passage, we'll come back to that. This is question number 2. Again, I will give you a few seconds to read this, so you have an idea about what the question is, and then I'll take you back to the passage. Read this very quickly so we can go back to so Kalyan, moderation means not doing too much of it. Not we should eat moderately, which means we should not eat too much, we should not eat too little. That is moderation. Okay. All right, so I guess all have finished reading the question. Let us quickly go to the passage now. I hope you have noted what are the things that are mentioned there in the question. So let us quickly go to the passage. The first slide is here. You can quickly have a look at it. Now this time I'm sure you'll not take so much time to read this because it's a passage that you've already read once, quickly of course, but you have an idea of what it is. So I'll give you a few more seconds here, then we'll move to slide number 2 and then back to the question. Okay. So I think I can move to the next slide. Okay, I think you are done with the reading. A few more seconds and then we'll move to the question. All right, I think we can move to the question, back to the question. Question number 2. Now let me know, read this question. You have read the passage, read this question and tell me, let me know on the chat whether the answer is option A, B, C or D. Okay, so I see B, A, D. All right, what about the others? A, B and D is what I see as the answers which you all have given. Okay, all right. Okay, so somebody says inferred. Okay, what is inferred, I suppose, is your question. All right, so when we say inferred, it means it is it may not be explicitly given. Okay, it may not be explicitly given. You have to based on evidence or reasoning out, you find out that. Okay, some things may not be clearly given, but from what is given we understand that is inference. Okay, so why are they asking you questions like this? They are asking you things like this to see, first of all, whether you are able to understand what is given, and based on what is given, are you able to reason out things. Okay, tomorrow they hire you and you read a report. So do you understand what is in that report, and can you take a decision based on what is there in that report, right? Can you infer or decide, okay, this is there in the report, so this is what I should be doing. So that kind of skill is tested when they ask you for inference. Okay, so let's go to the answers. So A, B, C and D I see as the options given. I think many of you have given B. All right. Okay, so let's see if B indeed is the answer. All right, so I have already explained the meaning of inferred. So what are they saying? Option A, you've gone too far when you start Googling your name multiple times daily. Competitive rival surfing is the best way to increase your self-esteem. Being addicted to self-Googling is the way forward in the 21st century. The advent of the internet has helped in creating a somebody out of a nobody. Okay, so let's look at option A. You've gone too far when you start Googling your name multiple times daily. Okay, now you might not find this sentence written anywhere in the passage clearly or explicitly. However, from what is written there, you understand that yes, you've gone too far when you Google yourself multiple times daily. The different things that I have said, it may not be one particular sentence. The things that they have said give you that you can reason from that you have gone too far, right? So the different things, the entire passage, or not the entire passage, I mean, when they start talking about here among these endless searches will be a valuable constant, here you don't get here it's not indicated, or you can't infer that it is too much. But when you start seeing here, right, that my husband has gently suggested that I seek psychological help, I Google myself every day, and when like a bulimic, so do you know what a bulimic means? Bulimia is a kind of a disorder. Okay, so a bulimic gorges on food, keeps eating food. Okay, keeps eating a lot of food, and then also throws that food all up. Okay, so it's a kind of disorder. So she's comparing what she is doing to the behavior of a bulimic, digging into a second bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken, I feel out of control, and so on, right? So that you have an idea that you've gone too far when you start Googling your name multiple times daily. Okay, so since this is option A, this is likely to be the answer. However, we can't blindly say that option A looks good, this is the answer. Let us quickly look at the others. Okay, competitive rival surfing is the best way to increase your self-esteem. Now quite a few of you have said B is the answer. Okay, but look at what is given in the passage. Just a second. Yes, so here you have competitive realms of rival surfing. Okay, so what is this rival surfing? Rival surfing is you are looking for the names of others who are your rivals. So say I am say writer. Okay, I am a writer. Now Helen Wall happens to be a writer. The one who has written this passage is a writer. Say I am a writer. I am Googling myself, okay, so many times in a day. Apart from that, I'm also Googling the names of my rivals, my competitors, to see what, when I search their names, what is showing up. Okay, now look at this. When you start dabbling in the competitive realms of rival surfing, you are sure to start sinking under the flotsam of self-doubt. Okay, for those who do not know what flotsam is nothing but wreckage of a ship. Okay, ship wreckage is called flotsam. So in other words, you can talk about it as ship wreckages, that broken parts of a ship floating on the sea. That is flotsam. Okay, now you're sure to start sinking under the flotsam of self-doubt. So when you are sinking in self-doubt, does this mean that you are increasing your self-esteem? It's actually the opposite, right? You are creating self-doubt when you are doing competitive rival surfing. Is that clear? So this is definitely not the answer. Being addicted, so I hope that part is clear. You can maybe look at the video again later and check, look at that passage to see what I have explained. All right. Option C is being addicted to self-googling is the way forward in the 21st century. Now, nothing related to that has been written here. It is, they haven't said anything like that. In fact, they are giving something contrary to that, that it shouldn't be done, right? They're saying that it is addictive and so on. So, is the way forward is definitely not the answer. It has not been mentioned and it is not the answer. The advent of the internet has helped in creating a somebody out of a nobody. Now, this might be a little confusing. Okay, now the internet has helped in creating a somebody out of a nobody, and if you are not looking at that passage, maybe it is true too. Even people who are nobody can become a somebody with the internet, maybe. Okay, but we are not imagining things. We have to see what the passage says and then infer. And if you look at the passage, nowhere has it said that. The only place where it's come close, okay, actually not close, but something related to that is, in the great scheme of things, I am not very important. Okay, but you should remember, now this author is saying I am not very important, but I keep looking at things, searching for my Googling my name and seeing what comes and so on. However, I am not very important doesn't mean I am nobody, right? I'm somebody. If I'm not very important, maybe not a famous somebody, but it's not that I'm nobody. So you cannot infer that last option. This one cannot be inferred. The advent of the internet has helped in creating a somebody out of a nobody. So A is the right answer. Now I have taken some time to explain each of this to you. You will have to be much quicker than that. Okay, so you'll have to quickly look at it and decide which is the answer. A quick deciding on the answer, a quick elimination of the other wrong options, and then selecting of the right answer. I am explaining so that you know why these options are eliminated, because a lot of you said B, okay, and it looks like B because these words are all there. However, it is not self-esteem. They have talked about self-doubt in the passage. So that's something you need to note. Okay, so I hope it's clear, and please let me know on the chat. Please let me know in the chat if the explanation is clear. And why option A is the right answer. Okay, so I am waiting for your responses. Meanwhile, I'll move to the next question. If I see anything from you, I will talk about it then. Okay, I see Jim saying yes. Thank you. All right. So Nick asks, what if we get confusing more about answers? Tell us some tips. So, and Vaibhav asks, in a time constraint for each question, how we will take a quick decision to eliminate the options. So what I would say is, this comes with practice first of all. right? You need to do a lot of reading comprehension questions. Obviously, you practice doesn't mean you will get the same thing, but to get the knack of it, to master the technique of doing it, you have to start. Okay, so start off with things like this. Don't spend time on reading the passage. Look at the question clearly and note the key words which you need to keep in mind. Go back to that passage, and then you have an idea of things. Come back to the question and see whether you can eliminate easily. Now question 1, it was really easy to eliminate. Okay, if you were focusing a little bit, in question 1 the elimination was very easy, so that one you will do quickly. In the second one also, okay, it is not very difficult. You might find it difficult between A and D, but B, if you have read carefully, and C, because you know that nothing like that is even indicated, you know B and C are not the answers. So you need to try to cut down the options. You may not be able to eliminate all the wrong options. At least cut down the wrong options. Out of 4, if you can eliminate 2, then that leaves you with 2 options, right? Only A and B or A and D, and then you can spend some time and decide which is the answer. So practice. Technique and practice, that is what this is about, Vaibhav. Okay, so I'm sure it'll get better with as you do more and more reading comprehension questions. All right, so thank you, Anmita, for letting me know that it is clear. Let's now move to the next one. So you can quickly read this. The sentences are not long here, and you can easily read them. I'll give you a few seconds to read, and then we will go back to the passage. Here, let me not go back to the passage maybe. I think you all have seen that passage twice. This time, let me see if you can give me the answer right away. Okay? In your exam, you will be able to see it, of course. Now I just want to see if you can give me the answer, and I think you can. So Shanawaz, you are asking about the syllabus. See, for verbal ability, like I said, they can ask you any question related to grammar. Okay, it could be a spot the error, it could be sentence correction. They could ask you vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, fill in the blanks, reading comprehension. So when you say verbal ability, it covers all of this. Okay. All right, so I'm looking at the answers. I see C and D. What about the others? What about the others? All right, so maybe now that you have seen this, I will quickly, maybe you're not able to give me the answer because you did not look at the passage. So let me quickly take you to the passage. Just glance through and see if you can get your answer. The next slide. If there is anything there related to this in the question. And now if you have the answer, put it on the chat. I will in a few seconds go to the answer. We will discuss the answer. Okay, so tell me now, what is the answer? Jim, if you join late, no problem. You can look at the video later and look at the passage. Okay. All right. So I got some more answers after looking at the passage, after you all have looked at the passage. So now I see a few A's. All right. So let's see if A it is, or is it B, or is it C? Okay. Helen Wall is a patient of cancer. Okay. Some said A is the answer. Here, you need to be a little careful while reading. What is she saying? Like most users, she's squandering valuable work time looking up invaluable topics, cleaning dog's teeth, how to cook risotto. Risotto is an Italian dish. Medical ailments, including tough heels, lumps on elbows. She's not saying that she's got cancer. She's saying what she does. Like we all do, right? We get an suppose we have some problem, some kind of ailment. Quickly Google it and think, oh my God, they say this is cancer. That is what she is talking about. She is not saying that she's got cancer. Please note. Okay, so A is not the answer. Please note what she has said. All right, so A is not the answer. Helen Wall is a megabyte megalomaniac. Okay, now you might have heard of this word or you might not have heard of this word. Now a megalomaniac is essentially someone who is obsessed with oneself, self-centered, always thinking about oneself. Okay, obsessed with oneself. A megabyte megalomaniac, a megabyte you could say is, since this is connected to the internet, right, googling, that's why that term has been used, megabyte megalomaniac. Okay, so Helen Wall is a megabyte megalomaniac, could be the answer. We have not yet looked at the other options. Could be the answer, because what is she doing? Obsessing over herself, googling herself time and again, multiple times in a day, seeing reading the blogs which she has written and things which come up as the answer when she searches for herself. So that is a kind of megalomania, right? And megabyte because it's on the internet. Okay, so probably this is the answer, but let us see. Helen Wall thinks that constant rival surfing is the best way to improve self-worth. Those of you who have said C as the answer. In question number 2, I mentioned that it is not improving self-worth. When you are constantly rival surfing, you are increasing your self-doubt. That is what the passage says. Go back to the passage later, play this video again later and see. It doesn't improve self-worth. Okay, they have asked this on purpose to confuse you. It does not improve self-worth. In fact, it increases self-doubt. So this is not the answer. Helen Wall is a conscientious worker. What is a conscientious worker? A worker who, somebody who does her work dutifully, who does her work on time, that kind of worker. Now, nowhere does it say in the passage that she is that kind of worker. She is talking about her wasting time googling herself, right? So this is also not the answer. That leaves us with Helen Wall is a megabyte megalomaniac. Okay, so I hope you got the answer. I hope you understood why that is the answer. I hope you all can hear me. I see somebody saying that they cannot. Can you please let me know? All right. Please let me know whether it's clear and whether I am audible. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know, Nick. All right. So I hope it's clear why it's option B is the right answer. Can you all let me know whether it's clear? My voice is clear. Yes. Is the explanation clear, Anvita? All right. Thanks. Thanks, Vaibhav, and thanks all of you. I wondered if nobody is able to hear me. All right, thanks for letting me know, and thanks for letting me know that it's clear. All right, so something that you would have noticed in this passage is, okay, it's reading comprehension, yes. So you also need your vocabulary also needs to be good, right? If you don't know the meanings of words, then it becomes a problem. You don't know, you are not able to get the right answer because you're not sure of the meanings of words. So vocabulary has to be good, reading has to be quick, thinking process has to be quick, and all this happens only with practice. Okay, so please do practice reading comprehension questions. Okay, I would suggest, however, that you don't spend too much time on it while doing it in the exam, because then there might be other questions where you definitely know the answer to. So try to be quick and don't spend too much time on reading comprehension. Okay, so with that, we come to an end of this session. Okay, so we did a few questions, a question on vocabulary, synonym, and then we did a few spotting the error questions, and then we did reading comprehension. So these are the kinds of questions that appear in your TECH Mahindra test. So those who joined late, please look at the video again and look at the passage and look at here and view the explanation and understand why a particular option is right. Okay, so before we conclude, yes, I'm sorry, there was a slight disturbance. Before we conclude, in case you all joined late and you were not here when we spoke about our Ethnus Codemithra Telegram channel, please do join. Please do join the channel where you will get updates on various sessions that we conduct. We have more sessions lined up for you. We have a session happening tomorrow on TECH Mahindra reasoning. Okay, so details will be up on the Telegram channel. Please do join. All right, and like I said, we have other information also that we share when we are helping with the drives, conducting drives. We do share that information there. So please subscribe to that channel. All right, and there is one more thing that we need you to do. So please leave a review for us on Google. The link is on the chat. So your leaving a review encourages us to do more sessions like this, to do even better. So definitely go to Google and leave us a review. You will see the link on the chat. Nick, if it's not redirecting to Telegram, search for Ethnus Codemithra. Okay, on Telegram. I'm sure you will get it there. Also, we have some preparatory material for you. Okay, we have some preparatory material for you, and the link for that is also being shared on the chat. So you can go through that material, some questions related to verbal ability, and see if you are able to figure out the answers. So you can take that as a practice. So make a note of this link. All right, Nick, you got the Telegram channel. Great. So with that, we bring this session to an end. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this TECH Mahindra test verbal ability masterclass. All right, these are the ways you can contact us. The Telegram I've already spoken to you about. Our email and our phone numbers are here, and our WhatsApp number is also here. Please do follow us on Facebook and Insta, and our YouTube channel is Ethnus Codemithra. You can also please do visit learn.codemithra.com to know about the various courses that we offer. So it's been great being here. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon. That is as soon as tomorrow, because we have the reasoning session happening. Please be here. Thank you and have a great evening. Anshul, any updates we will provide on the Telegram channel. I hope you are part of the channel. So anything happening, you will know.